Tomila, and today we're going to talk about self-initiation. Now, as most of you know, I am a self-initiated healer, meaning that I was taught everything by my ancestors, my spirits, my guides, all this time. That is how I was trained. Now, what does it mean to be a self-initiate? And what does it actually, how does it even go? How does this whole thing happen? Now, as a self-initiated healer, remember, it depends how you get into this journey of being self-initiated, meaning that sometimes our people will find others out there who will be helping you focus on this journey, because the journey is not easy if you were to go on it on your own. So they require you to have a mentor, meaning that someone who's going to be helping you along the way. Now, mentoring, it is not easy. It's not easy because any person who comes to you to be mentoring you, if you're self-initiating, it is not going to be an easy thing, because they have to help you go into different shifts spiritually. Meaning that as you go along the process or the journey, they will be helping you, meaning that these people, they will help focus you so you don't misstep or, lose a footing kind of thing, or miss a footing. Is that what they call it in English? Like they'll be directing you. Now, as a self-initiate, remember, I'm talking about being trained by your ancestor spirits and guides, meaning that everything that you do, any information you get it directly from them. But when they're using someone out there, a person, physical living human being, your mentor, it means there are some things that someone out there needs to help you see them properly. Now, since we're not talking about mentoring, we're talking about self-initiation now. An individual who's going through a self-initiation. Now, what does it mean for you? And how does it mean? Okay. Now, since this is a journey I went through, and is a journey that I can explain it properly, everything, as in everything. And some of you have been on this channel, you've been on this journey with me, along with me. You've seen me going through the ups and downs, and some I was hiding. Sometimes I disappear so I can deal with things on my own. You understand? Sometimes I'll be there and I'll talk about it, how it was like, because it's not an easy thing. Now, it is a long process kind of thing. Now, the reason for this video is to make you understand what it is like to be on this self-initiation journey. A lot of you are going through it, and I've mentored a lot of people going through it, and I'm still mentoring people who are going through it, because you need someone, right? You need someone. Some they come like your family members, some they come like people like me, right? Now, when it comes to training, when it comes to herbs as a self-initiate, Muti, your people will be training you. They will be showing you where you get it, how to get it, how to process it, how to use it, and when to use it, how to store it, the names of that, and everything. They'll train you themselves. They'll be showing you how to do it. Now, remember with this training, especially when it comes to muti, it is not everyone that they will just train you on how to use it, and like it will go like a month or 2 months, they'll be training you and people will be coming your way and you'll be helping them. Sometimes the training, they can just introduce you to it and then it stops, because obviously you're not going to be using it, right? They will stop, and then when it's necessary, they continue training you. And remember, especially when it comes to muti and how you use it, because I'm currently mentoring people who are going through this kind of thing, so it will be easy for me to talk about it in this way. When it comes to muti, your people will not just train you and let you keep a lot of muti in your place for no reason, right? So sometimes they will be showing you that you're going in that path. Okay, remember, as healers, because this is self-initiation, right? Because a lot of you were going through self-initiation, especially your dreams are taking you to this line and you do not understand that this is where you're going. A lot of your people are taking you to your tradition. So meaning that when you become a healer, you will be what they call indigenous healer. Now, what does that mean as a self-initiate? What does that mean to me, right? It means that your people will teach you about different ways that muti is used on different people, how you get it, where you get it. That is number one. We're talking about muti. Now, when it comes to about your community, remember that it is about you and your community, how you deal with your community and help your community, right? So they will be teaching you on how to deal with people in different ways. Meaning that your training, as you're self-initiating, your training, you will become like now the Western people will call therapists, meaning that you'll be helping people with their mind, meaning that psychotherapists, those kind of things. You'll see those dreams, they're messy, right? Dealing with the mind and stuff like that. And sometimes you'll be dealing with counseling people. Even in those dreams, you can see that in those dreams you're about counseling people, you're telling people, people are coming to you for help and you're just talking, right? Because you're counseling. Because remember, as an indigenous healer, those are the things that our people, ancient people, were doing when they were helping their people. Someone comes to you, instead of you just saying, there's muti oil, instead of you saying, I'm gonna take you to the river for cleansing, you need to sit down with people to understand what is happening with someone. So even in those streams, it will show that you're talking to people because you're trying to understand them. Now, when it comes to dealing with your communities, there are so many things that are worrying our people. It will show you even in the dream when you're training. There will be people coming for marriage counseling. There will be people coming because they cannot deal with their unruly children. There are people who cannot deal with neighbors. People cannot deal with siblings, rivalries, things like that. You'll be dealing with those things in the dream. Because remember, you're going to be what? An indigenous healer. You need to understand those things. Now, remember that people give birth. When people give birth, meaning that there's something, there are changes, there are things that needs to be done ritual-wise. Your people will be teaching you about those things. Now, when people become of age, there are things that are happening in communities. In an ancient times, people were going to do those things where they go for goma, to Komeng, right? Things like that. They'll be teaching you about those things. Now, when people die, they'll be showing you that we do these things, we do that. We have communities like this dealing with grief like that. So that is what it means. So even in the dream, you'll be dealing with those things because that's part of your training. Now, marriages as well. Remember our tradition as well. There are things, people get married not only to one, some they'll get married to 2 wives. Wives as well, they can get married to 2 husbands. Traditionally, I'm talking about, for reasons that they will teach you in the dream state. So you should not be worried when you see yourself being part of maybe a polygamy or polyandry in the dream state, because those can be part of the teaching, because they're teaching you about what culturally we were doing things like this. When things like this are happening, it means this ngesintu sethu kasithu sarina in our tradition. So they'll be showing you about those things, right? Now, when we move from people now, remember we talked about what? We talked about Muti, we talked about our community and things that affect our community. Now, there are things that you as a healer, you need to understand people who are going to come to you as well. So they'll be teaching you about how you're supposed to hold yourself together. Professionalism. You and your work as a healer. So they'll be teaching you. As a self-initiate, they'll be teaching you those things in your dream, or if you are like me, they'll be talking to you and telling you that, my child, we're supposed to hold ourselves like this as healers working with communities, or as healers helping other healers. They'll be showing you those things. So that is what it means to be self-initiating. And there are so many things as well. So from that, they'll be taking you into other bit of the healing things. There are not only people that we deal with, people who are living. Now, we deal with the mind, we deal with the soul, we deal with the spirit. Now, we are talking about 3 different things now here. The mind of a physical living person, we're dealing with the soul, we're dealing with the spirit. Different kind of things. Now, there are too many realms as well in our spiritual path. Some of us, or some of them, even me, I'm still learning about. I get surprised as I go along on the spiritual journey. You can never say I know a lot, because they're still training us. I'm talking about me, they're still training me. So remember that as a self-initiate, a lot of things happen in the dreams, and sometimes they will be talking to you. Now, communication with our ancestors now. Remember that our ancestors, the way they talk to us is not going to be the same for everyone, because depending on how they want to get you to hear them, meaning that whether you hear them as in when they're talking to you like this, or you hear them as in you feel them. You hear them because you can smell there's something happening around you. You hear them where it's inner voice. You hear them where you feel the vibration around your body. Things like that. There are too many ways that they communicate with us. Now, as a self-initiate, remember that anything, especially when it comes to dreams, you do not understand it. You need to go back to the people who are sending you the dreams so that they can explain them to you properly. That is what it is all about. Now, this was the first video about self-initiation again. Now, we will continue with self-initiation so you get into the mood of things. And don't worry, you got it covered. You got it covered, right? We are here for our ancestors, our spirits, our guides. And extra help will be given just like this Khanyang.